Hello, Taurus. This is your tarot reading for love and relationships, June 2016. So, as always, I'm going to start shuffling the cards for a few seconds. Maybe something will pop out, maybe something won't. But let's have no expectations for a particular answer. As I meditate, I am praying silently for my spirit guide and your spirit guide to provide answers through this reading. The answers that we need to hear, the answers we need to accept, and the answers that will give us clarity. Okay. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and cut the cards. Your first card is Seven of Wands. Your next card is Ace of Cups reversed. Nine of Wands. Four of Swords reversed. Nine of Swords reversed. Reversal of Swords, that's interesting. When we have reversal of swords, sometimes it means reversal of depression or anxiety or fears or paranoia, because that's the energy swords or air, the energy of the element of air usually address. We have the moon, so maybe these are an increase in fears, not necessarily maybe this is actually, these swords in reverse could actually be pointing to an increase in distress, psychological distress, not necessarily a decrease. That'll be interesting to look at. I have the Emperor, which showed up in Aries in the other reading. I have an Ace of Swords reversed. Oh, wow. So when these swords are reversed, we're dealing with a lot of mental confusion, fogginess, lack of clarity. And then we have Four of Pentacles, and that is your energy, Taurus. This Four of Pentacles or coins is stability, reserving your resources, not taking risks. Excuse me. Okay, so let's look at your major arcana cards. You have two. You have the moon, which indicates a surfacing or presence of fears, not just any fear, but long-standing fears, things that go back to your childhood, your subconscious fears. Sometimes the moon reveals patterns, psychological patterns. If we've been unlucky in love, are those emotional fears, those subconscious fears, usually come back up to the surface. Those old demons that we've struggled with. When you look at these dogs baying at the moon, howling at the moon, we're getting, it's reflecting the self conscious, which is not bound by anything. It's not bound by the past, the present, or the future. It's unrestrained. Everything from the past, present, and future all comes together in the subconscious. And sometimes the immediate interpretation of the moon is about fears, but the moon also represents the energies of the subconscious that reveal things to you, that help you get insight on yourself, not just the ego, um, but the superego as well. And even um, family issues, things that, like if there are things that happened to you in your childhood that have affected your energies and the way you live your life in the present, those things could be coming forward as well. But the subconscious is really like the groove, like the record player, and you put a needle on and that song plays. All of us have subconscious energy that plays the same record or plays this narrative of how we interact and think about the world. And so the moon reveals that same old story that we keep confronting in our lives whenever we run into problems. And this moon goes very, very well with what's happening here with these swords in reverse. Mental confusion, dealing with avoiding anxiety. That's how I'm seeing this Four of Swords here. Four of Swords is usually the card of rest and retreat, but I do feel like there's a desire to run away from anxiety. This could be something that's going on with someone you're connected to. Okay, so this moon reveals a lot. I think someone is very afraid someone's falling back into the same patterns. In Taurus, you've probably been very patient, loving, and understanding. But one of the obstacles in the relationship is this person who might be an air sign is always dealing with fears of commitment or emotional blocks. And this is when we get to the Emperor. The Emperor is about rules, restrictions, laws that must be obeyed. Sometimes those rules and restrictions become limitations that also become obstacles. And I think this has a lot to do with this person with all the swords. I don't think this is you. I think that this reflects a person in your life who is too restrained, too limited, too fearful of stepping forward, revealing themselves, opening up. They're too mysterious. Air signs are notorious for being mysterious, yet open and friendly and flirty, engaging, but then they have this inner turmoil or this secret life that they don't reveal to everybody. And I'm a Libra, I can testify to that. So this Emperor and Moon are speaking, it's telling the story of someone who's allowed their emotional blockages to become restrictions and limitations. I hope you don't hear that music. Someone is playing their stereo, their car stereo, very loud. So that's your major arcana. What we have here in the middle is this Nine of Swords. And when an energy is reversed, sometimes it can mean a decrease. But I'm choosing to see this as an increase in turmoil and worry because it's next to the moon. And the moon is almost like the archetype of all the swords because once again, we're getting into the subconscious energies, we're getting into psychological, excuse me, we're getting into the psychological which the swords represent. Anything about paranoia, depression, hurt, the swords usually address it. Anxiety, the swords, that usually comes under the energy of swords, which are air. So this person in your life is very distressed. Maybe they are causing, and it doesn't mean it doesn't apply to you, but maybe there's a lot of stress and turmoil in this situation, in this relationship. Okay, so backtracking. First row, heading from the past influences. We have a 7 of Wands, fire, and then we have an Ace of Cups reversed. And I immediately link these two cards because I see someone's emotions being reversed because they're putting up too much of a defense. They're pushing you away. That's how I'm seeing this. Someone has pushed you away, and maybe this has caused a lot of emotional blockage because this is the card of falling in love, a new relationship, a new beginning in a relationship. Sometimes couples can get back together, and this can be signified by the Ace of Cups. And so this 9 of Wands, along with this is the card of fears, self-fulfilling prophecies. Oh no, is this going to happen again? And I think this also fits in very well what's going on with the moon. So there's a lot of turmoil going on here when we have all these wands and swords, these defensive tools. Swords and wands can be used to defend yourself, to fight with. And it also has a lot to do with our internal energy and how we overcome. Swords, as I said, are psychological. They reveal psychological distress or obstacles. Sometimes swords can indicate anxieties and fears. Well, wands are about your will and your intent. They're still mental, but it's not necessarily so much as psychological or depression. The wands are about, it's more like a fiery intent. I intend to do something. I'm thinking things through. It's your motivation. It's putting things into action. But you can see with this 9 of Wands, this man is unsure. He's looking at the other wands around him. He feels self-conscious. He has a lot of fears and doubts here. So, the emotional energy has been reversed because of all these defenses and fears that something's going to go wrong. And so we get into this next row, heading into the present, where things are really stagnating. They're not moving forward because of this 4 of Swords, which means avoiding anxiety, avoiding conflict, avoiding life. And this is only causing more stress and anxiety here. So all these little sticks. It's funny because I usually say whenever you get these little these sticks, these wands and swords which are used to defend yourself and fight with, it means that there are a lot of mental challenges and life challenges from the inside that you are struggling to overcome or someone's struggling to overcome. It's sort of like how they indicate that sometimes people they interact with life in such a way to where they overthink things, or the wands indicate that sometimes they lose their power and they don't take control as much as they should. They let too much insecurities and fears mentally block them. Now, the 7 of Wands is not always about being defensive, but it can be about setting your boundaries as well. And maybe there's someone who is setting strong boundaries, which is indicated by the Emperor here in a much more forceful and amplified way here in the future. And so Taurus, it seems like there's really nothing you can do. And you are a very stable and slow energy. You're very patient. You take time to think things through. You're very logical, very practical. But I think this person is just very frustrating to you because you're like, well, why can't they just, why are they overthinking this? Why are they so afraid? So this could be someone that I sense is very insecure as well. So when we get to the near future, there's still going to be a lack of clarity here. But I think that this Four of Coins or Four of Pentacles in your energy here, Earth, is indicating that you will be able to maintain through the obstacles this person's going through, the limitations and the rules and the laws and the obstacles that they're dealing with. And maybe they haven't sorted out where they stand or what they want from the relationship, which is why I think this Ace of Swords is reversed. But perhaps the tarot is giving you some advice here that in the future, your best bet will be to just stay put, maintain your boundaries as well, because this Four of Coins, sometimes it means a selfish person. You see this person holding on to all of his coins, making sure he doesn't lose them. I think sometimes it's good to make sure that you take care of yourself first and maintain your own stability, even though the other person is all over the place. Make sense? So let's see what your outcome card says. Okay. The Magician, nice. You're going to make this situation will, it seems like someone's going to make something happen. I'd like to think that this person struggling with the wands and the swords is going to pull out of this funk here. Because now you have this person taking control over their own life. They're taking responsibility. This could be you, actually. Note how the Magician has all the elements. But to make things happen, he has the wand. And this could actually also mean that the situation in this relationship, that there's going to be seeing through it. I think it's going to indicate that there's no more overthinking or going through negative patterns, that there's going to be a move or a step forward in a very positive direction for the relationship. Now, it could also mean that it doesn't necessarily mean that there's going to be smooth sailing here, because in order to get here, certain things will need to be resolved. I think this has a lot, the Magician is not only about taking responsibility for your life, but taking responsibility for your actions and following your gut instincts and following what it is that you really want. And sometimes two people in a relationship are not on the same page. This might indicate what you might need to do in the relationship. But I see this as a positive thing, that there's no more confusion. There's going to be a positive move forward for the relationship, for you. Now I'm also going to pull an oracle card from an angel, a guardian angel, your higher power, your spirit guide. Whoa. Well, I had several. Solar plexus, ear. What is this? Base chakra. Okay. Okay, I'm picking one card. And here is the message for you, Taurus. Cancel, clear, delete. And this is a wonderful message. It's helped me out several times. It is use only positive words and thoughts as they're rapidly manifesting into form. Ask the angels to cancel the effects of past negative thinking. Interesting. So, Taurus, maybe this was applying to you, the negative thinking, the fears and the doubts. Maybe this is applying to someone else. I think that's what's going on here, that there's someone with a lot of negative fears and doubts who needs to move forward and do what they need to do. You need to do what's good for you. Find your stability, find your boundaries, find your groundedness to deal with this person. And ultimately, don't be afraid to make the decisions or do the things you need to do to take care of yourself. So maybe these wands were applying to you, Taurus. You were a little afraid, a little defensive. A relationship had a rocky start. Someone did not offer you love. But maybe you're getting tired of this person just constantly emotionally being up and down. And I think you're pulling away from that. You might be the wands in this situation, and this other person might be the swords. Okay? So, that is your reading, Taurus. I know that a lot of you have just finished up birthdays for the month of May, so I hope you all had wonderful birthdays. As always, thank you so much for your comments. I haven't even had a chance to get to comments because I've been so busy giving readings and doing videos, which is great. Thank you for your support. And I hope I have an opportunity to read for some of you online and do a video. So please check out my description. And I'll see you and hopefully talk to you soon. Take care.